Hello, I'm Francesco Roccazzella. I'm a researcher at Louvain Finance at the LIDAM. My research is related to the field of forecasting. And when you think about forecasting, probably the first thing that pops into your mind is whether research forecasts. However, forecasts are essential whenever your current decision depends on the future realization of a variable of interest. Today, thanks to advancement in modeling techniques and increased data availability, you can either, using your own experience, build your own forecast, or you can ask some experts that you believe know better what's going on to give you a prediction of the variable of interest, or you can leverage machine learning and big data to actually form your own forecast. The problem is that you have several methods, and what if you pick up the wrong one? So what if you rely on the wrong forecasting tools to make your own decision? This is particularly problematic when you look at future realization. If you think about economics, any kind of unexpected and unpredictable shocks can affect the economic environment in which we are living, and therefore affect our decision-making process. Think about COVID. Most of the economic and financial models that we were using before the 2022 were of little help when trying to forecast economic activity after the outburst of the COVID pandemic. In my doctoral thesis, I aim at fighting this problem, that is helping decision makers to get one forecast out of many possible competing forecasting methods. In particular, I use forecast combination, that is, you combine different models together. I do this by making a forecast that is a combination of other models that makes optimal use of the past information while still acknowledging that what was working yesterday is not necessarily going to work also tomorrow. And this approach works quite well. And when I mean works quite well, it means that it works super well in simulation, but it's also quite promising when you look at empirical application. In particular, we have performed competing state-of-the-art forecast combination and forecast selection methods when dealing with forecasting housing prices, real economic activity, also realized losses in the credit industry. However, forecast combination relies on combining different models, and combining different models means you have different weights that you can attribute to each of these models when you compute an average. And these combining weights can be super important when you want to assess, for example, which of the different models, which of the different forecasts are the most informative. We exploit this idea to evaluate ECB success at monitoring inflation dynamics in the euro area. In fact, the ECB has quite a peculiar role. On the one hand, it produces inflation forecast, but on the other hand, it also runs the monetary policy in the euro area that has a direct consequences on price dynamics over the midterm. Clearly, the main and primary goal of the ECB should be targeting inflation expectation. However, other goals are possible, for example, preserving financial stability. And if we look at what's happening today, a potential decline in information content of the ECB inflation forecast may somehow signal some incompatibility between different types of goals. Our results show that when we look at the combining weights associated to the ECB forecast, ECB was the most informative forecaster before 2022, which is quite a good news. Unfortunately, in 2022, ECB's weights is approaching zero, and if we look at historically these weights, this historical path, we clearly see some sort of declining trend over time. And so the information content is variable over time, and what explains this variability? And we show that uncertainty, macroeconomic and financial condition in the euro area, but the monetary policy itself explains such a variability. So if we look at the declining trend and the relation with this determinant, well, these two facts raise some warning flag, because there is a risk that ECB is damaging ECB's ability to anchor inflation expectation for the agents, which is what the ECB actually wants to do. As a result, we probably have to say that targeting inflation expectation in the midterm and preserving financial stability are somehow incompatible goals when you are living in a high inflation environment as we are doing today.